Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to this sacred space where healing, truth, and soul remembrance guide the way. In the twin flame journey, we often focus on the divine feminine's awakening, her inner growth, and her deep intuitive knowing. But today, we shift the lens. We're turning our hearts toward the divine masculine, the soul who may appear distant, silent, even resistant, but who carries a cosmic role more vital than many realize. Because in the spiritual tapestry of the twin flame path, the divine masculine is not just the runner or the sleeper. He is the anchor, the activator, the protector, the mirror, and so much more. So if you've ever asked yourself, what is he really here to do? Why does he act the way he does? Does he even feel this connection like I do? Then this video is for you. We're about to uncover the 9 sacred roles the divine masculine embodies during the twin flame journey. Whether he knows it or not, each one is designed by the universe to awaken both souls and guide them back into divine union. Let's begin this soulful revelation with Role 1, the mirror of the unhealed wounds. The first role the divine masculine often takes on, consciously or unconsciously, is the mirror. In this sacred mirror, he reflects the parts of the divine feminine that are still fragmented, hidden, or in need of healing. Not to punish, not to reject, but to reveal. When he pulls away, it brings up your abandonment wound. When he goes silent, it triggers your fear of being unseen. When he chooses logic over emotion, it confronts the places where you've abandoned your own intuition. And at first, this feels devastating. But in truth, it's transformative, because the divine masculine's mirroring forces you to look within, to reclaim your worth, to rise in sovereignty, to stop looking to him for validation and start remembering who you are. And as you shift, so does he, because he too is looking into a mirror, one that reflects his own vulnerability, his suppressed emotion, his longing to be whole. This is the soul agreement, to reflect each other not for comfort, but for growth. And through this mirroring, union becomes not just possible, but inevitable. Role 2, the carrier of sacred polarity. The second role of the divine masculine is deeply energetic and spiritual. He is the carrier of sacred polarity. In the twin flame union, polarity is everything. It's not about gender, it's about energy. The divine feminine flows, receives, feels deeply. She is the moon, the water, the emotion, the intuitive current. The divine masculine holds structure. He is the container, the presence, the steady flame. He is the sacred fire that anchors her emotional ocean. And this role is not just symbolic. It plays out in every interaction, every silent glance, every energetic exchange. He may resist the connection at first, not because he doesn't care, but because he feels the intensity of the polarity, and it scares him. But in truth, his soul is being stretched. He is being called to hold the space, to stabilize the energy, to ground this cosmic love into physical form. Without polarity, there is no flow. Without contrast, there is no magnetism. And so he carries this sacred balance, even in his confusion, even in his silence. When he embraces his role as the holder of polarity, he becomes the protector of the connection, not by fixing it, but by being it. That's when the union begins to stabilize on the soul level. Role 3, the catalyst for awakening. The divine masculine plays a powerful and often underestimated role as the catalyst for awakening. For many divine feminines, the moment they meet or connect with their masculine, something inside them ignites, a soul remembrance, a sacred disruption, an unraveling that leads to truth. Suddenly, life before him feels like a dream, and life after meeting him becomes a spiritual quest. But here's the deeper truth. He feels it too, even if he doesn't admit it, even if he denies it or walks away. Your presence activates something ancient within him, and likewise, his presence awakens you. You start asking questions you've never asked. You begin your healing journey. You break karmic cycles. You realign with your soul mission. And none of this would have happened without the initial ignition of the connection. So when you think he's doing nothing, remember, his very existence in your life has already set the wheels of your transformation in motion. His love, his resistance, his silence, his return. Each moment is an invitation to go deeper into yourself and higher into your truth. This role isn't easy. For him, it's confusing. For you, it's consuming. But for both of you, it is sacred. He is the match that lights the flame of awakening, and once it's lit, it can never be extinguished. Role 4. The Guardian of Divine Timing. In this next sacred role, the divine masculine steps into something deeply misunderstood. He becomes the guardian of divine timing, while the divine feminine often feels the urgency of union, the longing, the signs, the synchronicities, the visions of a shared mission. The divine masculine often seems delayed, detached, or distracted. But what if he's not behind? What if he's holding the timeline? You see, the divine masculine carries the earthly blueprint for this connection. He feels the pressure of grounding the spiritual into the physical, of making sure things are ready, not just emotionally, but logistically, spiritually, and karmically. He may not speak of it in these terms, but deep within his soul, he knows when things are out of alignment. And until the time is right, he will stall, push back, pull away, not out of rejection, but out of protection, because he senses what the union requires. And he knows on some level that half unions and rush timelines only delay the deeper merging. When the divine masculine is truly spiritual, he becomes a guardian of the sacred unfoldment. He trusts the process, even when it hurts, even when it tests him, even when it threatens to break both of you open. So if he's paused, if he's silent, if he's distant, ask yourself, what is being aligned behind the scenes? Because the divine masculine often delays, only to deliver something even more divine. Role 5. The Anchor of Physical Stability. The fifth role of the divine masculine is both spiritual and deeply practical. He is the anchor of physical stability in the twin flame journey. While the divine feminine often dwells in the emotional and energetic realms, dreams, intuition, inner healing, the divine masculine is tasked with bringing the vision into form. He is the one learning how to build a life that can hold divine love, not just feel it, but sustain it in the real world. This may look like healing financial wounds, seeking career alignment, creating healthy boundaries, grounding in purpose and direction. Because twin flame union isn't just about spiritual merging. It's about co-creating a life together, one built on trust, foundation, and consistency. And for that, someone must hold the root chakra energy. Someone must ask the hard questions. Can I support this? Is my life a safe space for love? What does partnership look like in reality? That someone is often the divine masculine. And though his process may seem slower, he is quietly, patiently building the structure for union. He knows that a sacred connection deserves sacred space, and that means aligning his 3D world with his 5D soul. So if you've ever felt like he's too focused on money, work, or logistics, look again. He may be preparing the temple for love to move in. Role 6. The Initiator of Deep Soul Lessons. Perhaps one of the most intense roles the divine masculine plays is this. He becomes the initiator of your deepest soul lessons. He does this not through comfort, but through contrast. Through his absence, you learn self-worth. Through his silence, you discover your own voice. Through his confusion, you gain clarity about who you are. Through his retreat, you step into your power. He doesn't do this to hurt you, but because your souls agreed, long before this lifetime, to awaken one another through sacred tension. This role is often painful, but it is also profoundly sacred, because without the friction, there would be no fire, and without the fire, there would be no alchemy. His resistance teaches you sovereignty. His emotional unavailability teaches you to love yourself without conditions. His doubt calls you to trust your own knowing. The divine masculine initiates not by holding your hand, but by challenging you to walk on your own 2 feet, to stand in your truth, even when he won't mirror it back. And when you rise in your own light, you activate his, because the twin flame journey is not about dependency. It's about divine reflection and ascension. So yes, he may be the reason you broke open, but he is also the reason you awakened. Role 7. The Protector of the Feminine's Heart. Beneath all the silence, beneath the running, the avoiding, the logical armor, there is a sacred oath the divine masculine carries in his soul, to be the protector of the divine feminine's heart. This role is not about being perfect. It's not about being fearless or having all the answers. It's about holding her sacred energy with reverence, even when he doesn't yet understand it. He feels the depth of her love. He senses the purity of her intentions, and sometimes it overwhelms him because he doesn't want to harm what feels so pure. So what does he do? He pulls back, he distances, he creates space. And while this may feel like rejection to the divine feminine, it is often an act of unconscious protection. He is not rejecting her. He's protecting her from a version of himself he doesn't trust yet. A version still wounded, still reactive, still unsure. Deep down, his soul remembers, I must not break what is sacred. And as he matures, heals, and awakens, this protection becomes conscious. He listens more. He reacts less. He shows up not to take from her light, but to honor it. The awakened divine masculine becomes a safe space, a shelter, a guardian of love, not by force, but by presence. Because when a man protects your heart energetically, emotionally, and spiritually, that's when true union becomes possible. Role 8. The bridge between the spiritual and the physical. The 8th role the divine masculine embodies is one of sacred responsibility and divine power. He is the bridge between the spiritual and the physical. In many ways, the divine feminine awakens first. She feels the connection before there's proof. She sees signs, dreams, past lives, soul contracts. Her world becomes more energetic than ever. But what happens when that energy needs to be grounded, when the sacred has to become real? That's when the divine masculine steps into his divine task. To manifest what the feminine envisions, to take the etheric and make it earthbound. This role doesn't always look spiritual on the surface. Sometimes it shows up as making the decision to move closer, choosing to end a karmic relationship, stepping into his purpose-driven career, taking concrete action that aligns with the soul's higher timeline. The divine masculine becomes the embodiment of union energy. Not just the idea of it, not just the hope for it, but the actualization of it in real time, real space, real choice. This is where he becomes not just a twin flame, but a divine architect. He helps build the temple where heaven and earth meet, where souls reunite, where mission ignites. And when he starts doing this, taking action, building structure, and aligning with truth, you'll feel the frequency of the union rise dramatically, because now it's no longer a vision, it's becoming reality. Role 9. The co-creator of divine mission and sacred union. And now we arrive at the final and perhaps most exalted role of the divine masculine on the twin flame journey. He becomes the co-creator of divine mission and sacred union. This is the moment where all the previous roles converge. His mirroring, his anchoring, his timing, his awakening. They lead him to one sacred realization. I am not here just to love her. I am here to build something sacred with her. Union is not the end, it is the beginning. Together, the divine feminine and divine masculine carry a mission. One that goes beyond romance, one that reaches people, shifts energy, anchors higher frequencies into the collective. This mission can look like anything: a healing practice, creative projects, family life rooted in conscious parenting, community leadership, teaching, writing, speaking, guiding. But whatever the form, the frequency is always the same. Love as a force of transformation. In this role, the divine masculine is no longer the silent runner. He's the sacred warrior, standing side by side with his counterpart. Not in ego, but in purpose. Not in control, but in collaboration. He becomes aligned, devoted, awakened. He protects the union. He fuels the mission. He holds the energy of legacy. When he steps into this final role, the journey becomes something greater than the two of you. It becomes a gift to the world. Because now, together, you're not just healing your own wounds, you're showing others how love can evolve, how souls can rise, and how the divine can move through human hearts to change everything. So here we are, beautiful soul. Having traveled through the 9 sacred roles the divine masculine embodies on this divine journey. Not as a man lost, not as a runner who doesn't care, but as a soul in transformation, playing his part in a love that transcends lifetimes. He is the mirror, the carrier of polarity, the catalyst, the guardian of divine timing, the anchor of stability, the initiator of soul lessons, the protector of the heart, the bridge between spirit and form, and finally, the co-creator of divine union and mission. He may not awaken all at once. He may stumble, resist, or deny. But remember this: every step he takes, even the ones that look like back steps, are part of his sacred unfolding. And as he awakens, he helps you awaken too, because the journey of the divine masculine is not separate from yours. It is interwoven with your soul's evolution. So if you see even a glimpse of these roles in your counterpart, hold space, trust the process, honor the timing. And most of all, honor your own growth, because the more you embody your divine feminine truth, the more he is pulled to rise into his. Let's stop labeling him by his wounds and start recognizing him by his potential, not just as a lover, but as a divine partner, a spiritual warrior, a soul deeply committed, even if silently, to the reunion your higher selves have already chosen. If this message resonated deeply with you, make sure to click the subscribe button and join this growing community of awakened souls walking the twin flame path with courage and compassion. We're in this together. Leave a comment and share. Which of these roles have you seen in your divine masculine? Which one are you stepping into more fully yourself? Remember, this journey is not about chasing love, it's about becoming it. And when both twins step into their sacred roles, heaven meets earth. Until next time, stay in your light, keep rising, and never forget, union is not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.